About a week ago, Kelly Marie Tran decided to do the very stunning and very brave thing of attacking Star Wars fans as a means to promote another project. I mean, how many different times have we seen this before? Somebody's career is floundering, John Boyega, and you decide to lash out to the people that, at least we're giving you deference, or at least we're giving you a sliver of credibility. You throw them under the bus for fleeting mainstream fame. It never ends up working out for you, and obviously it didn't work here for Kelly Marie Tran, as the Rose Tico actress film The Wedding Banquet fails to make $1 million at the box office after she publicly trashed Star Wars fans. Well, big shock on that one. The only people that would recognize you out of a crowd and not think, okay, oh shit, I need to go pick up my dry cleaning later this week, you call them all horrible racists. So instead of taking a flyer on your upcoming movie, they'll just immediately, solidify their apathy for your existence. Just weeks after actress Kelly Marie Tran publicly lambasted the Star Wars fandom while promoting her latest film, The Wedding Banquet, the movie has underperformed at the box office, opening to less than $1 million in ticket sales for its first weekend. According to industry reports, The Wedding Banquet earned only $918,598 during its opening weekend, despite playing in 1,142 theaters nationwide. Oof, that's tough, man. That's tough. Figure places the film well below expectations and raises serious questions about the commercial viability and Tran's star power. Oh, she doesn't have any, let's keep it a buck. The film, which received a notable media push tied to Tran's controversial return to the spotlight, now faces an uphill battle to recoup its production and marketing costs. Oh no! Tran, best known for playing, Rose Tico in The Last Jedi, and, to be told, you can't come on our trip, and she's like, no, okay, I got scans to run here on this goofy planet, and it's like, okay, Rose, we'll catch you later. In the Rise of Skywalker, Rise of Palpatine, used the press tour for The Wedding Banquet to revisit her experience with the franchise's fan base. In an interview with Entertainment Weekly, Tran says that she felt persecuted by Star Wars fans and cited negative comments she received after The Last Jedi is part of the reason she stepped away from social media. I was already being ridiculed. There were comments about my race or comments about me being a woman. I already felt like I was being persecuted for those things. Oh, shut the fuck up. Timing those comments, paired with the film's underwhelming box office performance, has sparked conversation among industry watchers and fans alike. While Tran did not reference Disney or a Lucasfilm in her remarks, she echoed sentiments similar to those recently made by fellow sequel trilogy star, and her quote-unquote love interest in The Last Jedi, John Boyega. Like Tran, Boyega has also chosen to direct criticism towards the fan base rather than the studios or creative teams responsible for how their characters were handled in the films. Yeah, exactly. Because, Tran and Boyega were a part of the most useless side plot in the Star Wars history. Hey, go over to, I was going to call it El Camino. No, but the casino planet, Canto Bight. There we go. I had to remember it there for a second. Yeah, just go over there and find a lockpicker. All right, actually, he doesn't much matter, but we need to find a way to get rid of Captain Phasma again. Does anybody remember that? Okay. But she was great because she had a character and presence. Poor Brienne of Tarth. Got sold a bad bill of goods, but hey, you got really shiny set of armor that didn't end up doing jack shit. But it's cool because she was a girl, and the only reason that Captain Phasma was kept around is because Kathleen Kennedy thought that she was interesting. God, man, she's just the worst at everything. But while Kelly Marie Tran is very likely to be resigned to the dustbin of history, you attacked the fans have turned on you. Guess what? Now they're not going to give you deference moving forward, even if you come forward with another sob story. They'll just remember, oh right, you're the one who said that, we're all racist and sexist because reasons. In the same way that people were like, we were really cheering for Finn and, John Boyega, we have your back when, Disney was doing you dirty when it came to your character. And then for you to come out and say that, Star Wars is this white exclusive and overwhelmingly white franchise. And it's like, okay, cool. Will you just go and stay over than those black franchises that are casting you? All right. You're not getting any work, you fucking goof. Have fun. Put the fries in the bag and best of luck in your future endeavors, stupid. But somebody who has, I don't even think inarguably, but very much has said more vile and horrific stuff, who is front and center, who is very much trotted out at the most recent Star Wars celebration, who has never faced repercussions for his actions, who has never been publicly reprimanded for any of the horrific stuff that he has said to half of the population. That would be one Pedro Pascal, and he is once again, well, now he's taking shots at stupid J.K. Rowling. I mean, this has nothing to do with you, bro. But anyways, Pedro Pascal calls Harry Potter author J.K. Rowling a heinous loser. I mean, she's, I think, by every conceivable metric, the most successful female author of all time. But yes, this isn't about, Pedro being upset about Black Snape or anything like that, because he probably cares just about as much of that as, J.K. Rowling does. I got more on that coming out over the weekend. Boy, it's so nice. Yeah, J.K. Rowling, you think that it would have been, or rather, Harry Potter would have been a story about, Voldemort being trans at this point in time, the way that she has dived headfirst in that one singular issue. But yes, in recent years, she has really doubled and tripled down on her man hatred. No, I'm joking. But not really. But the whole men are men, women are women nonsense that I'm sure she was more than fine with. I haven't gone back and took a look at any of the stuff, but the moment that it immediately affects her, she's just like every other NIMBY liberal. Okay, the moment that things affect her is the moment that she starts caring about them. But as they don't, it's like, who cares what bathrooms that they use? It's totally fine. It's completely acceptable. No human is illegal. As she types that from her, empty 7-bedroom mansion. God, it was so funny when Andrew Tate called her out on that. But everybody forgets that. But because, Andrew Tate's bad. But J.K. Rowling is based because she blames men for all of the shortcomings, for women getting exactly what they deserve as a consequence of their voting practices. Anyways, Pedro Pascal, best known for his role in, The Mandalorian and The Last of Us, well, not so much The Last of Us anymore, has inserted himself into the ongoing debate over gender terminology and women's spaces by publicly disparaging best-selling Harry Potter author J.K. Rowling. The actor left a comment on activist Tariq Rafu, whatever's Instagram post, calling Rowling a heinous loser, following her support of the recent UK Supreme Court ruling that clarified legal definitions around biological sex. The ruling, issued last week, determined that sex, in legal terms, refers to biological sex, and that facilities and services designed for women, such as shelters, hospital wards, and sports. It's funny how, okay, cool, we'll go ahead and define what sex is based on the purview of women. That's my big problem with this. But we need to go ahead and uphold the sanctity of women-only spaces. What about man spaces? Oh, right, no, those don't exist, because if you go ahead and gatekeep any of those, you're being a misogynist. But we need to have women's spaces, because misandry is not exactly a widely enough known term. Anyways, women's only spaces can operate on the basis without being compelled to include male-born individuals. This decision is considered a landmark clarification in UK law and was supported by Rowling, who posted, "I love when a plan comes together." Bitch, you did nothing. You just sat at home and tweeted on social media. Like, shut up. When challenged online, the Harry Potter author reminded critics that she continues to receive royalties whether her books are read or discarded. Yeah, that's kind of funny, nonetheless. I get the same royalties whether you read them or burn them. Enjoy your marshmallows. Okay, that's kind of funny. But yes, Pedro Pascal responded to a lengthy critique of Rowling and included calls to undermine the upcoming Harry Potter television reboot and development at HBO. Ooh, funny, I'll be doing the exact same thing, but for very different reasons. Whatever, man. Urged followers to flood comment sections. Oh, okay, cool. Calling for a targeted harassment campaign. That I guess is fine when they do it, right? Sections with slogans and boycott theme park attractions. Good luck on that one. That's like, okay, the Harry Potter land at Universal Orlando and in California, that shit is overwhelmingly popular. You fucking freaks online, you ain't gonna do shit because you guys actually don't exist in real life, mostly because you ham planets can't get out your front fucking door. So good luck with that one. Though Pascal did not mention the series directly, his public support of the post was widely interpreted as an endorsement of the larger effort to discourage support for the franchise. Pascal's comment read, "Awful, disgusting something? Okay, is exactly right. Heinous loser behavior." Awful, disgusting shit? Maybe that's what it is. But this is also the, wannabe substitute librarian. Like, this is exactly what he does, okay? Like, he's also, for as much as J.K. Rowling is a one-issue person moving forward in regards to men are men, women are women, okay, Pedro, you just take a look at, a whole host of his social media, and it's all about protect trans kids. Most recently, he was walking around with a Troonie shirt as well. That's one thing. I think it's super cringe, but if you want to voice that, I think you should leave the kids alone. And normally you wait till adulthood before you can make irreversible changes, but I digress. But this is the same guy who in the aftermath, not that long before or after Gina Carano got turfed for making a very apt observation that the government really is kind of cracking down on certain people not wanting to go forward with experimental medical procedures that kind of happened before, and turning people against people, turning neighbor against neighbor. We've seen those tactics play out before, but Gina gets she gets fired and she gets publicly blacklisted for that very apt observation, but Pedro can go out and say, what was the meme specifically? Losers in 1850s and had the Confederate flag. Losers in the 1940 had a swastika. And then losers in 2020 with a MAGA hat going ahead and, equivocating everybody to Confederates, which if you take a look at certain charters, if you know that the Civil War was fought over a lot more than just simply slavery, being compared to a Confederate, not exactly the worst thing in the world. And if you take a look at the agenda of Lincoln outside of the Hollywood presentation of him, I mean, not being on Lincoln's side is fucking based, but I digress. But lumping everybody in, with the accepted history that the South was all about slavery, and in 1940s Germans were all about gas and the bankers at Gringotts, and lumping them all in with Trump supporters. I mean, Pedro never faced any repercussions. Hell, he ended up upsetting the production of Mandalorian season 3 so much that you got 2 episodes of that stapled onto the back end of the Book of Boba Fett show, and that it ended up screwing up the Mandalorian season 3 so much that Pedro wasn't even on set, and it was his stunt actor, and he just phoned in the lines for it, and it caused that disaster. But hey, you love to see a double standard come together. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.